Somebody call a doctor because bad medicine is back. That's the answer. This is the Appleton Oak. I'm Mason Quinn. Folks, today we are taking a look at the highly requested 1998's Prince of Egypt. This one has a whole slew of stars. I have not seen this one. However, I do have kind of a general idea of what we're getting into, so I'm excited to see how it comes across in animation.
Have no idea what this movie is about. Don't know how it fell by the wayside back in the 1900s. But I'm definitely ready, willing, and able to watch this movie.
I have absolutely zero clue with anything for this movie, so I don't know if we're getting Aladdin vibes or Egypt vibes or what sort of vibes we're getting by this poster. But as Mason Quinn said, very, very highly requested, so I'm excited.
All right, without further ado, let's go!
I'm familiar enough with the story. I don't have like a super like.
Yeah, I know very little. There's a couple of iconic scenes I know from other movies. So we'll see if those work in here.
Okay, so we're getting the slave part of that story right away. Wow. Boy, pretty aggressive for an animated film early on, huh?
Yeah.
But then again, how do you tell this story without?
If you're gonna do it, you got to do it.
Yeah.
My son, this chance that you may live. Remember my last lullaby.
Can't imagine being a parent having to make that choice.
That's a risk for sure. I mean, the odds of that working out.
Well, definite odds one way.
Or right, that's the choice you have to make, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, and hippos?
Jeez. You know, hippos are quite the aggressive animals.
They always grab their feet.
Twirls it around.
Come, Rameses.
Rameses.
Heard that name before.
Moses.
Yeah. Moses.
There he is.
Hey, Rameses! How'd you like your face carved on a wall? How about now?
Oh, jeez.
I'll hit the brakes, he'll fly right by.
Who do we got for voice acting for these two? Nobody's jumping out at me like super.
You've always looked up to me. Yes, but it's not much of a view.
Oh, jeez.
Not like super recognizable.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, 98 might be tough.
Oh, yeah,
Oh. Why are you racing on top of scaffolding?
Why are we racing up scaffolding?
even I wouldn't do that with the scaffolding now, let alone
Smiley face on it.
Moustache.
Oh, is that how we're gonna say we lost the nose? I'm guessing that's maybe not historically accurate.
You don't know.
You don't think we'll get in trouble for this, do you? No, not a chance.
Reckless, destructive, blasphemous sons. I seek to build an empire.
That's obviously Patrick Stewart. Come on.
It's Professor X. All right, yeah.
I goaded Rameses on, and so I am responsible.
Do you understand the task for which your birth has destined you? When I pass into the next world, then you will be the morning and evening star.
One damaged temple does not destroy centuries of tradition.
One weak link can break the chain of a mighty dynasty.
He's not wrong.
You have my leave to go.
Oof. Doesn't look too happy.
You know it was really my fault. Must you be so hard on him?
He must not allow himself to be led astray.
All he cares about is your approval. He only needs the opportunity.
Maybe. Go now. I shall see you both tonight.
He's having a seat.
The weak link in the chain. That's what he called me. You can laugh about it.
Statues cracking and toppling over.
Why is it that every time you start something, I'm the one who ends up in trouble?
It's Rameses. You're in trouble, young man.
Get down here!
That's Steve Martin.
Yeah, sounds like him.
I am so upset.
And that's Martin Short,
Short.
isn't it? Steve Martin and Martin Short.
You know what your problem is, Rameses? You care too much.
And your problem is you don't care at all.
In that case, I suppose you care a lot more than I do that
Oh,
we're-
hey.
Short hair.
That's all I'm going to be able to see is those two's faces now.
Nobody will even notice us coming in.
Nobody will even notice.
Rameses, you were just named Prince Regent. Apparently, Moses, someone thought he just needed the opportunity.
Hey,
Hey.
there we go.
A little bit of influence.
I propose that the high priests offer tribute to their new regent.
We offer you this delicate desert flower. Let us inspect this desert flower.
Oh.
Cobra.
Not much of a snake charmer, are you?
Give her to you.
No, that's generous, but...
To be given to any.
No, wait.
Be still.
As you wish.
Oh.
Mom's not impressed.
Center Prince Moses' chambers. My first act as regent is to appoint Moses as royal chief architect.
Not happy. Not one bit happy.
Hello? Oh, the dog!
Oh, the old pharaoh hounds.
Well, try to give somebody away. Be resourceful.
Don't blame her.
Guards. Prince Moses. There's a man tied up in my room.
All right.
Oh.
Making a
little moral judgment there.
creating a diversion. Letting her get out.
Please, I need water. I have a long journey ahead of me.
Oh, camels can move pretty fast, can't they?
Oh, so she's running like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't expect to see you.
Sandra Bullock. Yeah, that's an easy one.
Of course, they
At
make her
last.
clumsy.
Didn't I tell you, Aaron? You're our brother.
What?
You must know.
Be careful, slave.
Oh, she's exhausted from the day's work.
That's
Yeah,
Goldblum.
Goldblum.
God saved you to be our deliverer.
I said enough.
Easy, guy.
You will regret this night.
Be still, love. Don't cry. Pass your rock.
Oh, is he gonna remember it?
the stream.
No, he wouldn't remember.
I mean, how could you?
remember being sung to?
What was he like? 2 months? 3 months old?
Yeah, there's no way you'd remember.
That's knocking something loose, though.
When
Yeah, we get the sentiment,
dream. In the moonlight, cool, clean, and all I've ever known.
This is gonna drive me nuts. The main guy, I can't pinpoint who it is.
I am a sovereign prince of Egypt. This is all I ever wanted. All I ever wanted.
Oh, Oh.
This animation is super cool.
Yeah.
How they're showing
Kind of
using the hieroglyphs to tell the story.
Yeah, they're giving us basically the first couple of minutes redone like this.
Oh, Jesus. They're going for historical accuracy, I see, huh?
Yeah.
Into the Nile.
Yeah.
I mean, so they gave the backstory of when he was a kid without, you know, I mean, kind of in a relatively quick blip.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for him, for us, it was just a retelling of the first couple of minutes of the movie. And hieroglyphs. Yeah.
The Hebrews grew too numerous.
Father, tell me you didn't do this.
Sometimes, for the greater good, sacrifices must be made.
Greater good?
Sacrifices?
They were only slaves.
Oh. That's terrible.
Is this where you found me? So everything I thought is a lie?
No.
Why did you choose me?
The gods did.
Suppose if a baby floats up, you probably think that's some sort of sign or fate.
Here the river brought you. Now you know the truth, love.
So mom's going to try to smooth this over.
No, a little bit.
Yeah, it's starting to hit him now.
And it's not like he hasn't seen any of this before. It's just now he has a whole new understanding of it.
Yep. It could have been him.
Leave that man alone!
Oh, man.
Moses!
You saw what happened. I just killed a man.
I will make it so it never happened.
Nothing you can say can change what I've done.
I am Egypt, and you will be what I say you are.
All I've ever known to be true is a lie.
What are you talking about?
Go ask the man I once called father.
Ooh. Just like what? So go ask the one that you call father.
Goodbye, brother.
Moses!
Oh.
Oh, just like that, it's all gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, water.
Hey, plea.
Nobody riding that camel?
Hey, you. Aren't these your camels? Hut, hut.
That'll teach ya.
That'll learn you. A nice long walk ahead of you.
Oh.
Don't worry down there. We'll get you out. Hold on.
You.
Drops him back in.
Ladies, you've cleaned every inch of me. Whoa! I was wrong.
Coming to America vibes.
You have been sentenced. I see.
My father, Jethro, high priest of Midian.
Sit with me. Let us give thanks for this bountiful food. Brave young man whom we honor here tonight. First, you rescue Zipporah from Egypt.
Well,
it seems you do not know what is worthy of honor.
A single thread in the tapestry, though its color brightly shine, can never see its purpose. in the pattern of the grand design. So how can you see what your life is worth? You can never see through the eyes of man. Look at your life through heaven's eye.
That's an interesting point of view.
Yeah.
Hard to kind of step outside your own experiences to be the judge of, you know, kind of what you've done in life.
Dance with me.
Must learn to join the dance.
Oh, if you insist.
Pretty powerful score so far.
Yeah. Yeah, in terms of messaging, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, we went right to the wedding.
Look at that.
Oh, all right.
I love you.
Might be able to look at your life and say you don't have much, but when you wake up to that and you have that kind of view, that ain't
nothing.
That ain't too bad, huh?
Hey, where are you going?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
The burning bush.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus, David. Like it's glowing purple. It's the burning bush, right? In my defense, it's not your like standard yellow, orange flame.
Yes.
Oh.
Take the sandals from your feet, for the place on which you stand is holy ground. I am the God of your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So I have come down to deliver them out of slavery and bring them to a good land. And so unto Pharaoh I shall send you.
How can I even speak to these people?
Who made man's mouth? Did not I? Now go!
That's powerful. Wow.
But Pharaoh will not listen, so I will stretch out my hand and smite Egypt with all my wonders. Take the staff, you shall do my wonders.
Still got that ring on, though.
Well, it was a gift. No, I found him.
Yeah.
She's not believing it. It's a tough story to believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I told God he chose wrong.
You're just one man.
Look at your family. They are free. They have a future. They have hopes and dreams. That is what I want for my people.
I'm coming with you.
All right, here we go.
Heading back. All right.
Oh, look at their backs.
Oh, my God. Oh, no.
Jeez.
Yeah, they're probably not used to
Well, the thing is, like
a regular guy just rolling in through the doors.
Or the thing is, like, do they recognize them? Is what I was wondering.
Oh, well, he does.
Yeah, right away.
Moses! Rameses! Well, look at you! What on earth are you dressed as?
We are compelled to remind you that this man committed a serious crime.
I am the morning and the evening star.
Rameses.
I pardon forever all crimes of which he stands accused. He is our brother Moses, the Prince of Egypt.
All
Well-
right, so you can come back and not have to worry about what happened in the past.
Things cannot be as they were. God of the Hebrews came to me. He commands that you let his people go. Behold, the power of God.
Oh.
Whoa.
That's not normal.
Nope.
Impressive.
Hotep, hoy, give this snake charmer our answer.
Just turned a staff into a snake.
Yeah,
You're not
it's like-
impressed?
He doesn't seem to be impressed by it at all. Some sort of things. It looks like he thinks it's some sort of parlor trick or something.
By the power of Ra. Mut, Nephthys, Nachmet, Sobek, Sakmet. So you think you've got friends in high places? Play with the big boys now. Oh, that's pretty.
Jesus.
You're playing with the big boys now.
These guys are creepy.
This foolish mission. What's a cruel addition? Pick up your city twig boy with the big boys now.
Oh, they got some snakes now too.
They love it.
What's this really about?
He doesn't believe him.
No.
Look. What do you see?
A greater Egypt than that of my father.
Look at the different point of views.
I have to maintain the ancient traditions.
Do you still not understand what Seti was?
He was a great leader.
Oh, now it's got his.
Thousands of children.
Slaves.
My people.
You have returned only to free them.
Just give him the ring back.
I'm sorry.
I had hoped.
Wow.
No.
I do not know this god. Neither will I let your people go.
Yeah, he's not having it.
No.
Tell your people, as of today, their workload has been doubled.
Oh.
Thanks to your god. Or is it thanks to you?
If I remember the story correctly, that's also historically accurate as it was told.
How does it feel when you get struck to the ground?
I didn't mean to cause you more pain.
When did you start caring about slaves?
I did not see because I did not wish to see.
Well, that makes everything fine then, doesn't it?
Aaron.
Miriam, I'm so sorry.
God will not abandon you, so don't you abandon us.
Well, they're all counting on you.
Mary, where are you going?
Here, now, where it is? It's in his hand.
Playing 3-card Monty.
It's like he's out on his yacht.
My people go! I will hear no more of this Hebrew nonsense.
Take the staff in your hand, Moses.
Oh. Look at that.
Father, it's
blood.
Oh.
Hi. Explain this to me. We are going to demonstrate the superior might of our God.
By the power of Ra.
Nah, it's not the same color.
Abandon this futile mission, Moses.
Didn't you see what happened? The priests did the same thing. Pharaoh still has the power over our lives.
But there is one thing he cannot take away from you, your faith. Believe, for we will see God's wonders.
Oh boy.
Oh, I know what this is.
Oh,
Yeah.
the
Like the plagues.
The plagues, yeah.
Yo, I've never seen it played out though, like in an animation. There they are.
Once I called you brother, was all I ever wanted.
Where's the fire going down?
This was my home, all the innocent who suffer from your stubbornness. And never mind how high the coffin will still
This is
be
pretty heavy stuff,
Yeah.
right? It's the story, but this is probably one of the heavier animated films we've watched, if not the most.
Oh, that was very like a Broadway musical right there with how they sang like that.
Powerful, really powerful.
Still up
Rameses?
Let me guess. You want me to let your people go?
I hoped I would find you here.
Get out!
Oh, jeez.
We must bring this to an end. This place, so many memories. I remember the time you switched the heads of the gods of the Temple of Ra.
You were there switching heads right along with me. Priests thought it was a horrible omen and fasted for 2 months.
The priest.
You were always there to
have your back.
Get me out of trouble again.
Rameses and his pride. That's the problem. Being bullheaded.
Well, he doesn't want to be the weak link like he
Why
heard his
can't
dad
things be
say.
the way they were before?
Father, why is he here? Isn't that the man who did all this?
Yes. My father had the right idea about how to deal with your people.
Oh, Jesus.
There shall be a great cry in all of Egypt.
Rameses, you bring this upon yourself.
Interesting how they put his son right in the middle
Right in the
there.
middle of all that, yeah. God, this is heavy.
God has come to me again, saying, take a lamb.
Yeah, Passover.
With its blood, mark the lintel and posts of every door. I shall pass through the land of Egypt and smite all the firstborn. But when I see the blood upon your door, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not enter.
Boy, they really amp up the animation when they need to.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, no. Oh, wow. Oof. Oh, no. No. Jeez. Wow. I mean, I know this is the story, but it's still like hard to watch, even an animation of it. And there's Rameses. Oh my God.
You and your people have my permission to go. Leave me!
Many nights we prayed, we barely understood. Who knows what miracles you can achieve? You will when you believe.
The music all the way around has been really incredible for
Yeah.
this film.
Quite a change from our last scene to this one.
Yeah. The song sound familiar to you guys at all? Like
No,
back
I've never heard it.
90s back old school song?
No, I've never heard it.
I know like a lot of the old, like, you know, Lion King and some of the bigger musicals had bigger scores. This one
yeah.
sounds familiar, but I can't put my finger on it. Oh, he's
There you go,
making
it's
way out
leg
of
day.
Egypt.
Yeah, I mean, finally being free, that'll brighten the mood for sure.
No. Yeah, she's got control of those two big stairs.
Oh, it's a cool shot. Everybody with their torches and okay.
Good. I mean, we've been walking while we're thirsty. Let's take a drink, huh? Oh wait,
Not sure that
It's
not sure
drinkable.
that water is going to help you.
That kind of water, yeah.
That's-
This is probably not a freshwater lake here.
It's the red variety. Donkey.
Oh, here we go.
There it comes.
Oh.
Yep. Ooh.
I want to see how they do this.
Yeah, here we go. This is the scene I think everybody's waiting for.
Whoa.
Oh, this is cool.
You shall not pass.
Oh, something like that.
Yes. All right, here we go.
See if he does it as good as Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
With this staff, you shall do my wonders.
There it is.
Oh, look at that.
Have you actually seen the Charlton Heston version?
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen the whole way through, but I've seen bits and pieces.
Yeah, I just
and
know the
pop
imagery.
culture
Wow, look at
references.
The imagery from the Heston one is kind of famous.
Like when he's coming down and the lightning and this, See, look how different the animation is on the water compared to everything else that's been in the movie. I think they did that purposely.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a pretty, from a biblical standpoint, a pretty major historical moment, you know? Look at that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, yeah, look at that. It's not exactly smooth sailing, though, through it. Oh,
yeah,
man.
Might have to leave that.
Oh, look at that. That's cool.
That is wild how they're showing that.
Oh, wow. Nah, we're still together.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, right? Like, what is happening here? And here comes his big mistake.
Okay, why don't you just stay at this point? Be like, well, look what he's just done. Screw it. We'll stay here.
Yeah. I'm sure this sword will take care of it.
It's ego, pride.
Ego, pride,
everything.
bullheadedness, stubborn.
The soldiers! They're coming!
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh. Oh, right on the rocks.
Just like that, the entire Egyptian army.
Oh.
Oh, look at that. Ramses all alone.
Yep.
After all that, just by himself on the rock.
Goodbye, brother.
I think the goodbye is like, hey, I'm never going back, right?
Look at your people, Moses. They are free.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I was.
He's got a.
That's the old Charlton Heston scene.
Seemed like they were wrapping it up here. I was wondering if we were gonna get to a scene with the tablets coming down from the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, it's interesting because, the Charlton Heston scene is so iconic. Even if you haven't seen it, it's been.
You've seen it.
I've never seen the Charlton Heston movie, but I know the splitting of the sea.
Yeah, well, and everybody knows that expression. Oh, that offensive line parted like the Red Sea. I mean, that expression's been used forever.
All right, obviously there's.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. Hans Zimmer.
Look at that. No wonder it had good music.
Yeah, they brought in the heavyweights for this one. And after we finish up your answer, before we go into the thing, let's see who all the actors were.
Of course, had they had this version, you would have recognized right away.
I only know Mariah's Christmas music.
Oh,
but they did that.
Everybody knows All I Want for Christmas Is You. It's played around the clock.
They do that with some of the bigger movies. I don't know if it make the cut, but like I brought up the Lion King. Like the Lion King in the movie, I think Circle of Life was like the singers, but then on the album it was Elton John, which is huge. So sometimes they do different, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
for the actual during the film. They have these big songs.
All right, well,
all right,
hold on. We're pausing to look at the voice talent.
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer.
Did that sound like Val Kilmer to you?
It didn't, but
God, I'm trying to think like.
Well, we have to remember 98.
How much Val Kilmer stuff after Top Gun did I really watch? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Batman Forever.
Yeah,
We watched Heat for the channel.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, Rameses, Ralph.
Ralph Fiennes.
Look at that lineup of heavy hitters.
Michelle Pfeiffer, Sandra Bullock,
I would
Jeff
not
Goldblum,
have gotten.
which we knew.
Sandra, we knew.
Danny Glover is
Danny Glover.
Okay, that makes sense. He
Patrick
should have
Stewart.
said,
I was right.
just
Helen Mirren, I didn't get.
We got Steve Martin and Martin Short.
But I mean, look at those heavy hitters.
Yeah, wow, what a cast. Danny Glover? How
That
did
is
they pick
great.
Danny.
Oh, well. Those were the big hitters, I guess. So, all right. Well, there we go. We'll have for the rest of them. We'll obviously go to.
Did you say something after the credits or something praising Moses? What was that? General.
That's part of the song.
What are you talking about? Yeah, that's
just the credits for the song.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Oak's all confused over here. No, this one was very interesting because I know a little bit of the story, but there was a lot that I didn't get, and a lot that kind of educated me through the use of a cartoon that I thought was interesting. So that was really cool. I mean, if I kind of made it just talking to Oak earlier, like so many people know the expression of it parted like the Red Sea. I mean, American football commentators have been using that expression forever when talking about offense and defensive lines. Of course, the iconic Charlton Heston scene, and I think that's even been spoofed in a couple of Mel Brooks movies, maybe. I don't know. But did they do that in Spaceballs? It's been a minute since I've seen Spaceballs. Maybe not, but either way. So some of the more iconic things we kind of knew about and was waiting for. So I found that really interesting. But, this one was really cool because what I found interesting about it, and of course I thought it was very well done, just get that out of the way right off the bat. What I found interesting is you had to take, a story from the Bible and, put that in a medium of animation. And, I think, DreamWorks doing this, in 1998, that's kind of a big task to do because you have, I think, the question of, okay, this is DreamWorks, this is animation. How much do we really put into it? How much of the violence do we show? How much, and I think you have to, because how can you possibly tell the story and withhold some of the more key and important things? So, kudos to them for, deciding, because I can only imagine how it went there, in a room, in a meeting, gathered, okay, we're going to do this. Well, if we're going to do it, we need to go all the way. We can't have any kind of half measures. And I think in going all the way, that goes for the music, the animation, the voice actors they got. I mean, talk about a who's who of people you want, whether it's voice acting or regular acting. If this would have been a live action movie, these actors would have been every bit as incredible in their roles as opposed to the voice acting that we saw. And of course, you had Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey with the music at the end. Oak caught that one. But just a really good story. And I think, even if whatever a person's thoughts on various, religions might be. I'm no theologian myself, so I, don't claim to know a lot one way or the other. But, I think there was a lot of good messages in there. I mean, of course, the big one that kind of came out, I thought, was this kind of the talk that Jethro gave to Moses about, like, look, what do you mean you haven't done great things? And he gave all these different examples of not knowing. And I thought that was really powerful. And then with Rameses, being bullheaded and stubborn and not wanting to give in to the own ways. And in the end, it was his pride, among other things, that sort of cost him. So I like how they kind of worked that in. And, of course, they're going from some type of source material, so I don't think it was that difficult. But again, credit to DreamWorks for going all in on telling the story. So obviously, you had a ton of symbolism. The one that kind of struck me was Rameses' son up against the
hieroglyphics.
The name was escaping me for some reason. I said it during the reaction, but how Rameses' son was sitting there right between the two alligators, and of course we know what his fate ended up being. So a lot of really powerful imagery that was done very well. I thought they really upped the ante on the animation for the really powerful scenes, like the Passover scene and of course the parting of the Red Sea. The animation there, it just felt different from the rest of the movie, and I think that was obviously probably done on purpose. So yeah, all in all, this one was really good. I thought a very unique way to tell a story, and again, everybody crushed it, everybody delivered. So yeah, this one was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, the thing is too is when you have the story and not everybody, but a lot of people know the story, you can't really venture too far away from it because you would definitely get called out on it.
Yeah.
So the next question is like, how do you do it in a way that's not over the top, not like that's respectful. That's a much better word. That you want it to be respectful to all those involved on both sides of this, and to which I think they did. And the voice acting was amazing. The animation was amazing. I think what they did deploy was early CGI or computer generated with the animation, which it showcased especially in the parting of the Red Sea. That looked amazing, and for 98, like this had to be like in theaters and stuff like that. You had to your jaw just had to drop because like, wow, I'm watching this, on screen. And then Val Kilmer as Moses, it was a great choice for a voice, and especially since they sang, and I do believe he can sing like that in real life, because I mean he sang in Top Secret and stuff like that.
He sang in The Doors too, I believe. I think he did all the music in that. I'm not 100%. You have to let me know.
But yeah, and then the way this was done made it feel like it was like kind of a Broadway musical, with the way the singing was, with having them back and forth and kind of over the top, that it seemed like even when he's yelling at Moses at the end, I could see that have him like on the stage with the light like getting dimmer and dimmer as he's yelling Moses in the theater, and it would just work perfectly. So that's where I really enjoyed this movie in that aspect, because the story was going to be what the story was. We saw what it was. I mean, you had the slaves doing all the work, and like he's like, finally, hey, they've been your slaves for too long. They need to be free. You need to let my people go. And obviously he's like, no, I have to follow our ancestry and all this stuff. Which, I think he was trying to say, hey, this is your chance to like change that, to change it for the better of all of us. And he was so stubborn because he had been referred to as a weak link by his father. So like, he's like, no, that's not I'm gonna stick to my guns. And, unfortunately we saw all the ramifications for it, and they showed all the plagues and everything like that followed suit. But so this was just a really good offering, and the way they did it was very respectful and well done, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought this was phenomenal. So I went to a Catholic grade school for 8 years. I am of the mindset right now, and I'll keep this very high level, that I respect everybody's religion or lack thereof. Just put that out. But I did go to a Catholic grade school. I don't consider myself that, but I did go. So we learned the story. Like, if you went to so I think for the most part, from what I recall, like, this isn't something that I've gotten into in many, many years. I think for the most part, it was pretty historically accurate. Might have been a few things where they were a little off. I can't really pinpoint them, but it's a little. I don't even want to say conflicting for me, because that's not it at all. I think it was great, but it was interesting because when I think of these 90s movies, and although I guess I don't want to keep bringing up Lion King, but that's like the Disney movie, and of course that's essentially based off Shakespeare, and you have the death of the father. But this felt like a really heavy movie to be animated, and I feel like it's like, obviously a biblical story, but lessons on so many things, but yet it's animation. And I'm curious to the people who had children around this time. I was in high school, so it wouldn't have been something where I would have been too young to have seen this. But I'm wondering if parents and church groups and stuff had this out there for kids, because it does have some heavy adult themes. Of course, the hieroglyphic depiction of, you know, what happened when Moses was a baby, and of course Passover. Those scenes were heavy.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to read about it and to be told about it in a classroom
visualize
setting.
it.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I think they did a good job with the symbolism. So if a child was watching, it would be very heavy. But it's also a heavy story, right? And I think that's the thing is, you know, sometimes we, for lack of a better term, we put on kids' gloves with kids who are very young. But for parents who do want to teach their kids, you know, these biblical lessons that may be very important to them, that's the nature of this story, is that it's a heavy story. And so I think they did a great job of telling the story. The animation I thought was phenomenal. It felt like a bit of a mix of kind of like what I would consider to be 90s animation, and then some other things. The parting of the Red Sea looked completely different, so it looks like they took a few different cues on that. The score was phenomenal. I mean, the music right from the get-go just hit really hard. And of course, we saw in the credits it's Hans Zimmer. And I mean, whether it was 1998, 2008, today, I mean, you're not going to get any better than Hans Zimmer to handle the music. The voice acting was incredible. I feel a little like some of those actors I should have gotten, but like I'm trying to think, like 98, you know, how many roles they were in, and whether their voice, you know, changed. Like, I got to be honest, like, of course, if you see Michelle Pfeiffer, you're going to recognize her, but I don't like her voice. To me, doesn't come across as one of the distinctive voices. And even Ralph Fiennes, you know, of course, now we know him as Voldemort, but if he's not throwing his voice as Voldemort, you know, maybe
and a heck of a chef,
something I wouldn't recognize. Right, in the menu, he was great in the menu. But all in all, I thought this was brilliant. You know what? And honestly, it's. If we just separate the Bible story, and by no means am I trying to separate the story from what this film is, because that's the story, right? But I mean, even in just the lessons, here was somebody who came in who faced had to be a lot of internal conflict. Like, this was his brother, this was his family, these are the people who raised him, and his entire life he's raised around his people and seeing it. And I mean, they don't show it, but probably not thinking much of it, or kind of turning a blind eye to it until later in life. And you know, and then has to, you know, he goes away and, you know, comes back and has to, you know, as his brother didn't, you know, Rameses didn't even believe him at first. Like, okay, what's, you know, because they had, you know, kind of that wild, you know, youth that they showed here with the chariot races going up there.
They weren't concerned about what was going on.
No, so I mean, a lot of internal conflict there with him. I really thought the line, and Mason Quinn had brought it up, look at your life through heaven's eyes is what was said. But I think that's really powerful, and regardless of whether you're taking it from a biblical standpoint or not, like, it's so easy to look at your life and what have I done? You know, I haven't made an impact. I haven't gone out and done great things. But if you can, you know, if you could step outside your own self and just look at the changes that you've made, you'd realize that we're all a lot more impactful in this world than I think sometimes we give ourselves credit for. And I really love the line in the song that I made note. To one lost sheep, a shepherd boy is worth more than the greatest king. I mean, that's a I'm trying not to be an oak and drop an F-bomb here, because
that's
if ever there was the wrong time to say this is a really effing. But I mean, regardless of the context of the film, to one lost sheep, a shepherd boy is worth more than the greatest king, and that is such a powerful line in a million different contexts. That hit me really hard, even within you know the kind of the whole story that was presented to us. So. And I think it did a really good job of kind of highlighting the different points of views of people in certain situations. Like, what do you look at when you see Egypt? And they showed Moses, and all he saw was the slaves and the people. And Rameses was like, "Oh, you see the greatest Egypt."
Yep.
You know, and regardless of whether it was a religious story or not, I mean, if we look back in history, I mean, Rome, I mean Egypt. You look out in the Middle East. You look out everywhere. Of course, get into here in the United States. There was a lot of slavery that happened to build these certain nations, and you have to look at that and say, well, people had different viewpoints about that. But what Moses went in and did to free his people, like I said, regardless of whether that's a biblical story or just a historical story, that is a noble quest for a person to go on to free their people, especially going against their family and the people who raised them. So I gotta be honest, like you look at this and and there's not. I mean, look, because the reality is that ancient Egyptian history is so fascinating. Right, like there's entire series built around it, movies built around it, whether it be treasure hunting or the ancient pharaohs and stuff like that. It's so just captivating. I looked at this and I'm like, okay, this should be pretty good. And I honestly, until like right away, right away when it started, you're like, look, it didn't take long to figure out or to just know this is a religious story. But I think they did an amazing job with this all the way around. I think. I think if somebody didn't love it because they felt like it was a little much for an animated movie, I can respect that. Especially if you were like I'm picturing like a parent like bringing their kid to the theater to see this, oh, it's the Prince of Egypt, and I can't speak to what the credits or the trailers
back in the 90s were.
If I was a parent and let's say I was just trying to go to the movies for a Sunday matinee and wasn't really trying to kind of have this biblical lesson, I could see some of the themes being a little bit adult for some families. I can see other families having this be a great resource for teaching a Bible story because it was animated and it did soften up the edges. I'm curious to the people who are religious and people who did grow up in a Christian or Catholic setting, whether this film was used as a tool or a teaching tool or shown in Sunday school or anything like that, because it seems like it. Yeah, it seems like it definitely could be. So all in all, I thought this was great.
Yeah, it was. I think it really showed the impact too, that you don't have to be a grand king or a vastly important person to make change, because Moses, was, but then when just became a sheep herder essentially, and then was able to make change, and like you said, to kind of play off that theme, you might do something that you see as insignificant, like maybe you volunteer for a day at some cause or whatever and maybe help somebody out. Well, maybe that one thing you do sets that person on a completely different trajectory in their life, and it completely changes them. And you were like, I was just helping out, handing out food or blankets or whatever it might be.
There's
so
never one thing that you do that would be helpful.
I don't know if that gets thought about enough, maybe, about the impact that people can have just doing small things and not realizing the kind of the ripple effect. So I thought that was really well done as well.
Yeah, and that was, if I'm being honest, and that was the one thing, like I have my notes here, that was the one like line that really hit me. And I think like if there's one like takeaway you have from this film, regardless of whether it's religious or anything, it's like, look, in your day-to-day life, holding a door, telling somebody that they have a great smile, look, any sort of pay it forward type act that could be insignificant, helping somebody out at the gas pump, I don't care what it is, right?
Yeah, you never know.
Those little things, you never know what somebody is going through, and the smallest act of kindness that you won't even think about once that moment passes could be life-changing for somebody else. So just keep that in mind. Look, we try to be like Bill and Ted say, be excellent to each other, be good to each other, but don't ever trivialize those small acts of kindness, because those can go a long way.
All right,
yeah, so
for sure.
I think this is one.
Okay.
I thought it was.
You know, so the reason I think sometimes with
sometimes we
historical,
hesitate a little bit.
and the reason why there's hesitancy is like sometimes if it's something that's historical or a true story,
Yeah, like with The Impossible, and there was another one we did.
Siddhar Udam.
Yep.
There's some
Yep.
historical things that, out of respect for the families and the people who are involved in the true stories, we don't rate them. This one I think is kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
But I almost want to give a score because to reflect
At least,
how I feel about
to
it.
give
you know?
credit to everyone involved.
Right.
Yeah, so for me, I don't think they could have done it any better. This is a 5 out of 5 answers for me. Again, with my scores, I like to separate movies. Like, example, if I'm watching Shawshank Redemption, let's just say, versus a Fast and the Furious movie. Well, a Fast and the Furious movie and Shawshank aren't the same, but are they good for their genre? Or what would I change to make them different? That's kind of how I look at things, if that makes sense. And we've been doing that a lot lately with some of the animated stuff, because we didn't want to lump all animated movies in together, having to compare everything to Coco or Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, because sometimes the animated movies are different. And this one certainly fits into that kind of category, I think. But either way, 5 for me. I couldn't have done anything different. There's nothing I would change. So
Yeah, I really love the animation and how it was done. The music was amazing. I mean, especially when you think of the fact that this was done in '98, as far as like the animation and everything goes. If you put yourself back in that time, this animation looks spectacular, and it still holds up to this day. So for me, 5 answers. It was a lot of fun enjoying it. Val Kilmer crushed it, as he always does, and it was fun hearing Ralph Fiennes' voice in the movie instead of his noseless face.
Yeah, yeah, and look, I think we all can agree. Like, we 1,000,000% respect for anybody's religious views on this channel and everything like that. So when we give these ratings out, it's not reflective of whether you believe the story or don't, or whether it goes along or conflicts with whatever your beliefs are. But this movie, I think, just in and of itself was done so well that I really wanted to score it. I think you can tell by my tones what I'm going to give this. The animation, the voice acting, the scores, everything I thought was really phenomenal on this, and so I'm giving this a 5 as well.
Right.
I thought this was brilliantly done, and even if you had taken a similar just general story, independent of kind of the religious side of it, I think the lessons in here
still works.
were brilliant, and overall I think it was just phenomenal.
All right, well, there you have it. Hopefully you had fun watching us watch this. So for Appleton Oak, that's Mason Quinn. I'm, of course, the answer. Good night, pals.